Okay, so the last video talked about the FLY5 and what they are. I'll briefly go over the FLY5 really quick if this is the first video you're jumping into. It's our eating window, our water intake, our exercise, our sunlight exposure, and then our sleep. So this first video is actually going to go into our eating window. Now, let me basically preface this video by saying I don't know everything there is to know about health and wellness. I have done a lot of research and I've read a lot of books and watched a lot of basically YouTube videos. I know that sounds a little awkward, but there are tons of videos and books with information that have kind of shaped my overall mindset on how to live a healthy lifestyle. And I know everyone is different. So I want it to be clear that these FLY5 principles are meant to help you have some decent framework that allows you to kind of figure out exactly what works best for you. Because these are overall biological, natural tendencies that we have and we've had for a long period of time. So if you can stick to a good regimented schedule, then you will start to figure out, okay, these things are just helping me live a healthier life. And while I'm doing these things, I can figure out if I can, eat this type of meal or eat this type of diet as opposed to this type of diet. So this isn't the end all be all when it comes to, hey, if you do these things, you're going to be perfectly healthy. No, these are frameworks and guidelines that will help you live a healthier lifestyle. And I truly believe that you'll start to see major benefits if you do these things. So with that being said, if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, email me, and I will try to provide any and all information that I have on any question that you have. So I just wanted to preface this video by saying all that. And so this video is actually going to get into our window of eating. All right. So why do we want a 12-hour eating window or less? Okay. And so the reason being is basically it gives our bodies enough time to basically give our digestive system enough time to rest during that 12 hours that we're not eating. And there's a whole host of different benefits to doing that. We honestly, let's just give it a example of eating at 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. All right. Let's say we wake up around 6 or 6:30. We wait about an hour and a half for our bodies to get warm and then ready to eat. And we eat around 8 a.m. We have our first meal. Well, it takes around, depending on how fast your metabolism is operating, takes about 2 to 4 hours for your body to fully digest, and also how much you're eating to fully digest a meal that you ate. And there's actually a rhythm that goes along with a 4-hour rhythm that allows you to eat on that rhythm, which is kind of cool. And that's in The Power of When, which is a book I highly recommend reading, by Dr. Michael Breus. So that comes from our overall circadian rhythm. So we have an overall circadian rhythm that when we rise, when the sun comes up, and we start to go to bed when the sun goes down. So with that being said, another reason why we want to have a 12-hour eating window or less is at nighttime when we stop eating around 7, 8 o'clock. That gives our body a good enough time to digest all the food that we need to, so that our bodies can prepare to go to sleep. Because a lot of times when people eat late at night, we don't have enough time to digest the food that is in our bodies. And a product of that, or a consequence of that, is some people get acid reflux. And the reason for that is because our body, as soon as we eat, if we only wait 30 minutes or an hour, or even if we go right to bed after eating, when we lay down in that horizontal position, our body doesn't have enough time to digest the food, so it slowly creeps back up into our esophagus. And some of this is acid reflux, and then if it happens often enough, it can be known as GERD, or esophageal acid reflux. I know that's not the exact term, but so with that being said, we want to stop eating around 2 to 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours if you can, before going to bed. Now I know that's tough for some people because of our schedules, what we have going on, and obviously if you have kids, putting kids to bed, trying to get them ready, and all of these things kind of roll into, okay, how can I get my body ready for the day and eating when my body is naturally digesting food, and not eating super late at night when my body's not ready and willing to digest food, but it has to. And really, when the sun goes down, our body naturally starts to kind of slow down, and our digestive processes actually still slow down as well. So eating during those daytime hours is very important because it helps set our circadian rhythm and prepares us for when we wake up, our bodies are ready to digest food. Now, you want to wait about an hour and a half to 2 hours before you have your first meal. And if you wake up super early, like maybe even 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, then you may want to wait till that first daybreak of light. All right. So I know that some people's schedules change over time, and some people, work night shift and all that stuff. Ideally, we want to eat within the daytime hours. And I know that's not always possible. So don't feel like, hey, and then also one thing you should know is you don't have to do this 7 days a week, 52 weeks out of the year, 365 days. Because there are times when we want to go out late at night and have drinks or something, or eat late night with friends. We want to have s'mores at a campfire, and it's 10 o'clock at night. This isn't meant to say you're supposed to do this every single day. This is something that you should be doing on a consistent basis. Ideally throughout the week during the work week, because that honestly gets us in the mindset of doing something while we're working. And then on the weekend, maybe allowing yourself to have, 1 or 2 nights where you don't worry about your eating window. And that will honestly help you reset and re-engage when the week comes, because then you realize, okay, man, I'm sleeping really, really good when I eat earlier and I have time to digest, and I'm not getting acid reflux, or I don't feel full when I'm going to bed. So your eating window can be 12 hours long. It can be 11, 10, 9, 8. It's up to you, essentially. And we want to have that eating window around maybe starting at 10 o'clock a.m. and finishing around 6, 7, or 8 p.m. So that's not to say if you're not super hungry in the morning, you can wait until 11 o'clock or noon to have your first meal. But ideally, we want to have some type of food to start off the day, because having your biggest meal in the early part of the day allows you to do the most digestion throughout the day and use that energy. And we don't want to have our biggest meal at night, because then we don't have time to really digest all of that food that we're eating. So they say kind of eat like a king in the morning, a prince in the midday or afternoon, and then at night eat like a pauper. So with all that being said, try to have your window around those hours. So I would start, if you're really concerned about, I don't know if I'll have enough time to get all my food in, you can go from 8 to 8. That's a 12-hour window. It's pretty decent. And then on the weekend, if you're like, you know what, I know the kids want to stay up late at night and watch movies, or my husband or wife, they want to watch a show or do something where we're going to drink wine late at night. That's okay to do maybe like once or twice a week. It's not something that is going to totally ruin your overall circadian rhythm if you do it once or twice a week. Now, the consistency of having a good eating window during the week, and for the probably like 80 to 90% of the time, is what's going to actively help your digestive system, and on a cellular level, help your mitochondria work better for you, so that you are operating at a high level and you're able to do things. And you'll start to realize that you actually start to feel better during the day, and you're getting better sleep. And these things will just happen naturally if you have a decent eating window. So if you have any questions on your eating window, feel free to reach out to me. And I will say, your eating, have a good eating window allows you to try different types of diets. Like I said earlier, that if you're kind of wondering, should I be keto? Should I be paleo? Should I be vegan? Should I be vegetarian? Having a good eating window allows you to try those different types of diets and gives you a good framework in order to do that, so that you're still, eating or you're having a healthy lifestyle, but you're trying to figure that out as you go. So that's my kind of explanation for why you should have a good eating window. And how you implement that is pick basically a general time frame that you can stick to, and that hey, I can do this over basically a week-long period of time, and do this consistently over a month, 2 months, 6 months. And hopefully this is something that it becomes natural for you to do throughout the week or during your work time, so that you can build up those habits. And then every now and then have your, 1 or 2 nights where you just, do whatever you want and just kind of relax and not have to worry about a good eating window. So eating window, that's that. Hope you enjoyed that one.